Did you see that?
Again? Why do I always have to see something?
I think this podcast must be haunted. Woo!
You're just stealing the Halloween intro.
Before we get into today's episode, if you're a fan of anything and everything related to nerd culture, then you've come to the right place.
Or maybe the wrong place, but you know.
Seeing that it's only myself and Grin, we will be uploading
Whenever.
at least
Whenever.
once a month. We'll try. With that said, let's get into today's episode.
Woo! Boo!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Yamcast.
We're back. Did you miss us?
Today, you have me, your host, Coco, and I'm also here with...
You got me, Grin, your host, Grin.
So, Grin, let me ask you this. Do you believe in ghosts?
Okay, so here's Grin's official stance on ghosts. I, unfortunately, do not believe in ghosts. But I do believe if I were to believe in ghosts, that life would be a lot more funner. So sometimes I just go along with it, you know? It's like I hear a thing or like you hear about like the haunted whatever and it's like, oh, wow, yeah, that's creepy. You just go along with it because, you know, it's more fun that way.
Have you ever had any kind of encounters?
So a long time ago, back when I still didn't used to believe in ghosts, but I was probably more of a scaredy cat than I am now. I went to go visit my cousins, and I don't remember what it was. I think it was maybe Thanksgiving. But my cousins had everybody kind of like cramming into the house, right? That's what you do for Thanksgiving. Everybody just goes over and cramps to a big old house. So all the rooms kind of were taken, and I didn't really want to like sleep with my mom at that point. I was like a teenager, you know, we're angsty. We don't want to fucking deal with that shit. So they had another room. Unfortunately, though, that room was completely and utterly haunted, as they so said. I of course didn't really believe it, so I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. I'm just gonna go sleep in the room. But you know, tell me about these hauntings. They say everybody who goes in there ends up choking. Like they feel like they're being choked in the middle of the night. And I was like, wow, that's real creepy that we have like a phantom choker in the family, you know? Going around choking people in their sleep. At least have the decency to wake me up and then like turn me over before you start choking me or something. Anyway, I was like, okay, cool, whatever. I go to the bedroom, I'm wearing my little PJs, I'm getting all nice and cozy, and I lay down and the ceiling's got those like glow in the dark stars and moons and shit on it. I think it was like some cousin of mine's room who ended up like going to college or something. I don't know. I want to say around like 1 or 2 in the morning, I can feel myself like waking up, and then all of a sudden I'm awake and I'm fucking choking. I'm dying. Like I needed water or something, and I'm like really, really fucked up. So I get up and I'm like having trouble finding where the bathroom is because I guess I didn't go before we got there. And I have nobody to ask now because everybody's asleep. It's 2 in the morning, some bullshit. And I'm like fumbling around. I finally find my way in the darkness. I turn on the light switch. I'm in the bathroom and you see the big old mirror. I can see myself like fucking dying of thirst. I turn on the sink and I start chugging that water. So I can definitely say, you know, being in that room caused me to have a dry throat and started dying. I don't think it was a ghost. It's probably like some asbestos or some bullshit in the walls. Or mold or something. But either way, I was completely fucked that night. That was probably my first and only real experience with a ghost. Or asbestos. Whatever you want to chalk it up to.
Wow. To go on with what happened with me, and actually before I even start that, I will like to go on record as well and say that I too don't believe in ghosts. I really don't. Now, I do have a few stories that of events, things that happened in my life that I can't explain. It's spooky, but I can't explain it. And that's the crazy thing. But I really don't believe in ghosts. It's not like I've seen apparitions. I've seen shadow people. You know, a lot of videos that you'll see online, people's encounters and stuff like that. Like, it's scary seeing that stuff. But personally, I've never experienced anything like that to that magnitude. You know what I mean? It's really hard for me to believe in that myself. And the very first thing that happened to me was when I was in high school, and the house that I lived in with my mom and my stepdad. After my mom got remarried and she gave birth to her second kid, which is my second brother. I'm not sure how long after they got released from the hospital and they were able to bring my brother home. The room that I stayed in was down the hallway, and where my computer was set up, I could look to my right out the door and see their bedroom door. And I remembered that they were going to go to the store. I was glued to my computer screen. I don't know what I was doing. Maybe looking at porn. Who knows? Yeah, probably. I remember them walking past my door and telling me, hey, we're going to go to the store, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. Didn't pay attention to anything else. So fast forward 5-10 minutes, whatever. I got thirsty. And keep in mind, all the lights in the entire house were off. The only light, obviously, that was on was my room. But I knew how to navigate even in the dark. And I wasn't even scared. So I got thirsty. I'm like, I'm going to go grab me a Coke, whatever.
Coke.
I got to the kitchen, got my drink. And as soon as I turned around, on top of the sink in the kitchen was a baby monitor, and the lights were flickering. They were going crazy, like as if, there was a noise. And the first thing that popped in my head was, damn it, they left my brother here and didn't even tell me. They should have just told me, like, hey, he's asleep. If he wakes up, go pick him up, or, take care of him.
Yeah, tend to him.
Exactly. But I did not remember that. And I was just kind of like, man, I was kind of upset, but kind of scared, because I'm like, I really don't know what to do in this situation. So as I'm navigating back around the couches and everything and the living room back to that hallway, it was kind of eerie. But I walked to the bedroom, flipped the switch on, light didn't come on. So I was like, oh man. So I had to kind of fumble around in the dark trying to find a little string. And as soon as I pulled the string, light came on. I looked over to the crib and it was empty. That was the scariest thing that happened to me. That really freaked me out, to the point where I turned all the lights on, ran to my room, sat in that same chair, looking out my door at their room the entire time. Like, I felt like I probably didn't even blink.
Jesus.
And when they came home, they were like, what the hell? Why are all the lights on? They came to my room. I told them what happened.
Who's wasting all this electricity?
Right? And when I told them, they laughed. And I'm like, that's not funny. I'm like, that is definitely not funny whatsoever. The second thing that happened is what happened in the house. Well, there's two things that happened in the house that we are in.
Wait, this one?
Yes.
Oh,
I thought I told you the other one. Yes. So the first thing that happened.
Wait.
I was away on vacation.
Wait. I think we need to inform the audience a little bit. So, even though, I said I don't really believe, and Coco just said he doesn't really believe, we've both kind of experienced some things in this house. Some things we can't really explain at the moment, so,
Of course, exactly. We can't explain it, but weird things have happened in this house. And honestly, I feel like it's our other roommate.
Oh boy.
I think, because if you really think about it, though, none of this happened before he showed up.
I have to say, there's been a lot more occurrences lately. Lately,
exactly. So the first thing that happened in this house was when I was on vacation. I was away for a while, and we got our third dog, and this was back in 2020. While I was away, she would tell me over the phone that, there was a couple of nights, maybe it only happened once, where the dogs were acting kind of funny. So she was upstairs, basically the room that I'm in right now, had her desk set up the same way, and the door was open. The room that you're in was our guest bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
That door was open, and I have a picture, by the way, so I will upload it so everybody can see exactly what I'm talking about. But the door was open. The door was open, and the light was off. The room where our other roommate is in, that was my old room. So that door was closed, and they missed me. At least that's how I took it, because they would always huddle up around that door a lot. But there was one night where she was on her computer, and she kept looking over, and all three or two of them would stand or like sit in front of my doorway, but their eyes, they were so fixated on the room that you're in. And every time she tried calling them, they wouldn't budge. Like they saw something, but they kept staring into that room. And she took like a picture or two and sent it to me. And I was like, wow, that's kind of freaky.
I hope you find it. I want to see it.
Yeah. I definitely have it somewhere on my computer, but I will upload it when this episode does come out. But the last thing that happened, there was one day you were going to work.
Mm-hmm.
You had left, and I'm pretty sure you had left because our other roommate said that he saw you leave.
Yeah, I usually tell, both of y'all bye before I take off. If not you, then it's usually the other roommate.
Mm-hmm. What made him say that, though, was he was standing in my doorway where I'm at right now, and I wasn't looking at him, but I was, talking with him. We were having a conversation, and at one point, as we were talking, I started to turn left to look at him. And as I was turning and was looking at him, I swear I saw a shadow, a figure, something that walked behind him from the loft to the bathroom. And at first I thought, oh, it was you. And as soon as I saw that, I kind of just did this double take, and he stopped talking and looked at me, and then he looked behind him, and then he asked me, what did you see? Like, what's wrong? I'm like, is Grin still here? And he looked at me and said, no, when I came in, I saw him leaving. Every hair on my body stood up. I had a chill run through my entire body. It was so freaky. I ran past him, looked in the bathroom, looked in the loft, and I was at a loss for words.
Damn.
I could not explain that. It was so freaky. Those are the only experiences I have. And of course, with how we are, I don't know how your family is, but I know with my family, they all have all these ghost stories. Oh yeah, our grandparent, our great grandma, great grandpa, they still, their spirits are still in the house, blah blah blah. They've told so many stories. Like, yeah, if you go to the house now, and if you're lucky, you'll hear your great grandma, her slippers walking through the house, because it was wooden floors. It's a pretty old house that some of my uncles and aunts still live in. And I just never believed it. I'm like, okay, that's just your imagination. Like, I really don't believe in it.
My family, yeah. I got a cousin who has like a shit ton of bad luck with ghosts, apparently. I don't really remember this one story, so I don't know if we should even leave it in, but she's working at the Dollar General or something, and like something creepy happened, and she went to the cameras and she found some like weird shit. But the one that I really do remember was she was at her house, and she's got like all these cameras set up on the inside, I guess in case if anybody breaks in or anything. And you can see the cameras. You can see like the cat, it's walking around, and it goes and it lays down and shit like that. And it's all dark. It's super dark, and all of a sudden you just hear, bah! And like it doesn't sound like a gunshot. It doesn't sound like anything. It sounds like something in the house. And then you just hear her little baby just start crying, just ah, ah, it, and it's so like eerie. It's so creepy, and like then you see all the lights turn on, and like she starts walking around like, what the fuck was that noise? You know, what was it? To this day, she still never figured it out. But I think it kind of sounds like something. This is me ghost detecting now, right? This is my little ghost detecting hat, right?
Yep.
It sounds like she had a bottle of something. I don't know if it was like a Sprite or a Dr. Pepper, or maybe it was like a wine bottle with a cork in it. But it sounds like something pressurized, just like it shot the cork off. Or, you know, like the soda bottle decompressed and it fell off and it landed like right on the top and just like right perfectly, and it just like shook everybody in the house up, you know? If I find it, I want to show it because that video is really creepy.
Wow. Sounds like a poltergeist, maybe.
Yeah, man, that shit was fucked. But I personally think it was like a bottle or a wine bottle. Like, you know, I don't know if you ever left like a wine bottle that was sitting in the fridge forever, like just out on the counter. But it feels like it kind of like heats up and it starts pushing the cork out, and eventually it shoots it off. It hits the ceiling and it bounces around on the floor. You can tell me if I do find the video. You could tell me what you think.
I would I wouldn't say scientifically, but yeah, I mean there has to be an explanation behind that. And what you said though, I would probably have to agree, maybe. But I've never experienced that per se, because anytime either myself or my wife and I open up a bottle of wine, we finish it. We never put the cork back in or anything like that and then stick it back in the fridge or just leave it out or anything like that. So it could be pressure. It could be the fact, like you said, between the hot, cold and all that would cause the cork to pop right back off. Who knows?
Yeah, I got no idea. Speaking of wine, I'm drinking wine right now.
Wait,
Super
you?
good.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, look at you, all fancy.
I guess it was like $13.
Or is it box wine?
It was like $13. It's the local one.
Ah, gotcha.
I like this local one. It's so good. I think you know which one I'm talking about, right?
I believe I do, but you can probably show me later.
But
yeah.
I don't know where the bottle is. I've had it in this like I've had it in this, what is this thing called? It's like an igloo.
Your
it's not like a ice chest. It's like a little igloo like jar, thermos, I guess.
Oh, okay. I thought you put it in your chest that you have upstairs.
No.
In your room.
That chest keeps me cool. Oh, speaking of which, do you want to talk about, I wish our roommate was here to talk on this, but his room is significantly colder than ours, isn't it?
And that's the crazy thing when he told me that, because again, like I said, I was in that room when we first bought this house, when we moved in. That was my original room. And not once did it get as cold as it is. I'm curious. I can probably go in there right now and see whether if it's ice cold or not. But he swears up and down it was the coldest room. He had to shut the vents off. Even with the vents being closed, it's still ice cold. And I'm
it's so crazy.
Man, that's a sign. If there's anything I've learned from movies and and like other clips online, is when a ghost is in a certain room, it gets ice cold.
I'm like a solid 7 to 8 feet away from that room, and my room is completely scorching. It's always hot in here. I always have to take my clothes off.
Okay, all right. You know, after what you texted me, because you got scared when I came in. Yeah. But so no, I was in that room, and I wonder if it's because I had all the electronics on. I don't know, but it never got that cold.
It's a little eerie, you know. I haven't experienced much since, you know, our roommate's been kind of stepping out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if your experience has kind of reflected the same way. But maybe we need to do a poltergeist sometime too.
No.
Just let me bring my Ouija board.
I don't know. For the love of God, no. I don't care if you have glow in the dark stars and moons. No.
You know, Transformers, He-Man, My Little Pony, and they made the little Ouija board too. It's so cute.
Even with me not believing in ghosts and all that, that is one thing I don't fuck with, and I will definitely not do that or allow it in this house. No.
Can I do it in the front yard?
Way. No, nowhere near. nowhere near on this property whatsoever. You can do that somewhere else.
On the neighbor's yard?
Huh. Yeah, they'd probably freak out and like the guy would come out and challenge you like he did me.
He challenged you to a duel?
Well, not challenge, but you know what I mean. Like he came out that one day during the Super Bowl when I had I think it was my truck or the wife's car, and we were trying to make room so that way we weren't blocking you, because I feel like you were planning on leaving or something
during the Super Bowl.
It was either during the Super Bowl or if it was another time when
because I thought during the Super Bowl
one of our other friends
came
over. I think that's when it was. One of my friends came over to see me.
Oh, you can't be my friend anymore?
Well, yours too, but you don't really talk to him or play games with him. You met him.
My friend.
You don't play with him online. You don't talk to him aside from when he's here, which was like what, all of like 2 or 3 days.
Bro, we went through the trenches together. You have no idea.
Oh man, but I think that's what it was. He came over, and then I tried to move the wife's car back a little bit so that way he wouldn't be blocking you in case you had to leave and go somewhere.
Oh,
I think this
right.
is before your shifts changed and all that. Yeah. So I got in the car and I backed up, and I guess I backed up too much. I was kind of in front of their driveway or something. I don't know. The husband came out, and it was weird because I'm pretty sure he saw me on a few occasions, before that day happened. But he came up to my window and he was like, "Hey, can I help you?" And I was like, "The fuck? I'm your neighbor, dude." And he realized, I guess, and he was like, "Oh, okay. I thought you were just somebody." I'm like, "No, man." I'm just moving the car so my buddy can move his car too, so we're not blocking our other friend.
He came out and was like,
"What the fuck are you doing, man?"
He's like, "Look, bro, I don't need my lawn taken care of. Get out of here."
Racist. Oh no, this is that fast food joint all over again.
Yeah.
The drive-through.
It's crazy. I've only had 2 experiences with our neighbors. One was when the ones on the left of us, I guess if you're facing towards the entrance, when they just moved in. And
the ones now, or the 2 girls?
Now. They're like moving in, and they're like all sweaty as fuck because summer just started. And I was like, "Hey, welcome to the neighborhood. Where you come from?" And he's like, "Maryland." And I was like, "It's a lot different down here, huh?" And he's like, "Fuck yeah." And he's like dying of sweat. I felt bad for him. I wanted to help, but not that much. And the other instance was when the dog went, MIA.
Oh my god.
And we went
Such
outside.
a stupid dog.
And all those kids were just outside, and we're like, "Yeah, hey, random group of little kids, come talk to this adult male stranger, right?" And I was like, we're looking for this dog. Come look at my phone, right? And then you had that lady down the street who was like, "Hey, get away from him." I guess I must have looked really bad or really sketchy or something.
I mean, you look like a hobo.
Like standing like a hobo around like a group of like 5 or 6 kids. Like, "Yeah, come here, come look at the phone." Must have looked pretty bad, but
oh, yeah, that was pretty funny.
Well, we found the dog though.
Yeah, stupid dog. And she did it again. Second time. God, first time it was kind of like, all right, don't do that again. Let's hope you don't. And she did it again. I'm like, God, you're such a dumbass. Thank God she's cute. Otherwise, I don't know if I would want her.
Just let her stay lost.
Oh, God. Stuck underneath the staircase.
I'm sure she would get out eventually.
Maybe.
She's
dumb dog.
She's a little dumb, but I don't think she's that dumb.
To get stuck a second time, yeah, you're pretty dumb.
Maybe she thought because the first time she went under there and she got out, because we helped her out. She's like, "Oh well, if I get stuck down there again, they'll just get me."
And what if we don't?
Right? You're just standing in the backyard staring at her like,
oh no.
Look what you did.
But talking all about these ghosts and all these ghost stories makes me remember a show that I used to watch. And I think I still have it. And it came out on the Animal Planet channel. It was called The Haunted.
Where Dan Aykroyd takes his like dick out.
What the fuck?
Oh wait, Ghost Hunters, what? Oh, I think I've seen this one.
What the hell are you talking about? What are you watching?
Well, I don't know what you're
I think
watching.
it's the wrong channel or website. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm talking about the Animal Planet channel.
You never heard
on
of the elusive
TV.
Poltergasm?
No, I have not. Nope, I have not.
Where the ghost makes you orgasm?
Oh, for the love of hell. What is
It's a
going
poltergasm,
on?
man.
No.
Okay, well tell me about Animal Planet then.
Jesus. I'm kind of curious, but not really, and scared a little at the same time of like, what are you talking about?
No, it's okay. It's okay. Let me hear about this Animal Planet guy.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I like Animal Planet.
And you turned it into something very sus, but okay. Dan Aykroyd whipping his cock out. Okay. No, this show was called The Haunted, and it was just a recollection of people's stories that involved their pets, dogs, cats, horses, whatever, you name it. And everything about the show, I mean, it is kind of creepy, especially with the sound effects, the music, the way they're doing the storytelling.
The way they edited it.
The way the whole episode is edited. But it's okay. There are a few, maybe only a couple of episodes that are kind of creepy, but most of them are kind of just, I wouldn't say lame, but just kind of like makes you think about it. Like, really? Did that really happen?
They're pretty suspicious.
Very, very. Some that seem kind of legit, but there's others kind of like, who knows? It's just like that other YouTuber that I know I've talked about before, and I've said it quite a few times, and I know it makes your eyes roll to the back of your head.
Like I'm going fucking deep, bro.
Pretty much.
Like I'm taking it to the back of the gut. That's how far my eyes roll when you mention this fucking dude.
But I mean, well, not Mr. Nightmare. It's Nuke's top 5. And the cool thing about him though is that when he shows clips from what viewers send him, because of course he's always looking for new content, so he's always asking the fans, hey, if you find something scary or whatever, any kind of clips, videos, it could be from any platform, send it my way. Him and his team will look at it, yada yada, and it may or may not be in his next episode, but he always shows clips, scary clips, and it's always kind of just, well, what do you think? Could you think it's real? Could it be a hoax? You tell me. You know, that's kind of pretty much how his whole channel is, all his videos, and it's really cool. A lot of clips that I've seen from a lot of his videos are really creepy. Some of it's kind of like, well, I mean, with technology, the way how things are now, I mean, that could have been easily just, edited somehow, using Adobe Pro or whatever.
Well, there you go. There you go, Nuke's top 5. Send us the check in the mail. There's your shout out. Going back, I remember, oh man, you were talking about the haunting at Animal Planet. There was this clip show. I don't think it was a clip show, but it was a show that showed clips. But not a clip show, right?
Uh-huh.
I feel like it was on Animal Planet, but I'm not 100% sure. It might have been Discovery or one of those other channels, maybe like History when it started doing aliens and all that other stuff. But it was called Lost Tapes. And what it was is they would take like this like a mythic or like an urban legend, and they would like reenact all these stories that they heard from it and like kind of compile it into like this found footage kind of thing. And some of them were like, I remember some of them being really good and like fucking with me for a while. I was like, wow, I can't believe the deformed ball sack of the 97 is crawling around out there somewhere, right? Because, you know, they started getting really loose with their mythics. I guess after a while, after like, you know, the top 5, you got to start scraping the bottle over the barrel. And some of these, they were just so bad. Like the acting was bad, the costumes were bad, the editing was bad, that it's just so laughable. Man, I wish I could have like clips of it right now. I wish I could show you.
So as I'm looking it up, sorry to interrupt, it is Animal Planet.
It is Animal Planet.
Yes.
Man, I feel like there was this one where they hired like a little person, and like they popped out all covered in blood, and the actress was like screaming and shit, and like oh man, it was crazy.
Oh wow.
But you mentioning Animal Planet, The Haunting, made me think of that one.
That's funny.
What a complete, like, it was, oh man. Maybe we should like, maybe for Halloween we can watch a couple episodes and discuss them.
Quite possibly. Yeah. That sounds like a plan. Now that I'm gonna be here and not gonna go on vacation again.
Yeah, a long vacation leaving me alone.
Yeah. All these vacations.
You'd come back to your house completely haunted. There'd be chicken heads stapled all to the bottom floor.
I swear. But if I was gone and I came back and you had the damn Ouija board in this house, I'd be so mad.
I would just like sheepishly text you like, Coco, something happened.
That just reminded me of something else that happened to the wife.
Oh God.
Yeah, when we were living in that city where I met you, if you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. We were renting a house. It was like a duplex. And she had some friends over or whatnot. They had their kids, and they were playing with my remote control car that I had.
RC? Oh, yeah.
Little monster truck, RC car, remote control car that I had.
This dude's playing with it every single day, I swear.
And I don't remember if there were batteries in the thing or not. All I remember is that at one point, after everybody left, she was in the living room watching TV, and the damn thing just took off out of nowhere. Scared the living shit out of her, but it just took off, right? And when she went to go grab it, I want to say there were no batteries in it. I feel like it was kind of janky and it was kind of moving around and whatnot. Mm-hmm. So she was like, what the hell? So she took the batteries out, and then that's when that happened. Fuck. Or there were no batteries in it to begin with, but the thing took off on her. I told her, I ended up telling her when I was on vacation at that time, I said, throw that shit out. I don't care.
See, I'm not going to play with that shit anymore. Throw it away.
I don't want to play with that ever again. No way.
We had this, I guess I got another story, but it's not too haunted. We, the town I grew up in was really small, but there was a even smaller town next to it. It was a population of like 12 people, and we would go there to go chill sometimes with my friend and his aunt. His aunt just recently had like a kid, and she had like all these toys for him and stuff like that, and she had like this little broom. I think it was called Sweeping Sammy. But this thing was the creepiest fucking toy I've ever seen. Like, it could just be sitting there and all of a sudden it just goes, sweeping can be fun! And it's got like this big, disgusting, bulbous face on it, and it's just so creepy. And you could just sit there and then like all of a sudden at 3 a.m, you're just, sweeping can be fun! And you're like, we gotta do something about this toy. So
that's insane.
So me and my friend, we took this toy to a landfill. There's a landfill out there. So we're surrounded by all this trash, and it was like the scene out of the, I think it's called Office Space, where they beat the fuck out of that printer.
Yeah, it is the Office Space.
Yeah, we just beat the fuck out of Sweeping Sammy, dude. And like he was really resilient. Like he was not going down without a fight. And finally my friend found like this massive fucking cinder block, and he's like, sweeping can be fun in hell, Sammy, and he fucking throws the brick on him, right? And it smashes with his plastic casing, and the face just like breaks off, and it does like this Final Destination like spin right towards my face, and if I did not move, my face would have been permanently scarred by sweeping Sammy.
Oh my god.
But luckily for me,
Jesus.
I moved to the side and this fucking thing just like fucking landed right in the trash next to me. I was like, oh my god, dude, he was gonna take me to hell with him.
He was gonna take one of your eyes out or both your eyes out.
Yeah,
Who
dude,
knows?
it would have.
Yeah.
I definitely would have been permanently scarred. Like it would have been an eye or the nose. It would have been like something on my face.
Physically, mentally.
Yeah.
Oh god. God, that's so terrifying.
This fucking thing. We felt really safe after that though. The house felt very calm. The presence had, left.
God, your version of Chucky.
Sweeping can be fun.
Jesus Christ. You gotta send me a picture of what this thing looks like.
Oh, I gotta find it.
If you can
man.
find it online. Yeah, that sounds so creepy.
It's probably still in that landfill. If I go back, I could probably dig it out.
That small little town, yeah, more than likely.
Man.
Would you ever go to like any supposed haunted building or anything like that?
Yeah, I think it'd be fun.
Would you want to like join in on an investigation?
Yeah.
That's probably what I'm trying to get at. Yeah. I don't know.
When I was younger, there was a show I used to watch. It was a Canadian show. It was back when Jackass and Wild Boys and all that shit was like really popular.
Right.
So you have people like doing crazy shit like puking and like stapling their nuts to their thighs and stuff like that. Anyway.
Oh god.
This was like the Canadian version of it. It was called like Kenny versus Spenny. And it was these two friends that would always like go against each other. Spenny was like kind of narcissistic and he was really neurotic, whereas Kenny was like really devious and he would always try to cheat his way through things. And one day they decided to see who could stay locked into a haunted house the longest. And that shit looked so fun. Like I would definitely try to like, I think I would, actually stay in a place that would be haunted just for a little bit, just to see how it is.
So, and I know again, I'm going to go back to talking about Nuke's top 5. The one thing that he always shows, and I think he's even mentioned it in some of his videos, I actually think the scariest thing to me, it wouldn't be so much just like the haunting itself. Mm-hmm. It's squatters, homeless people.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? They're more dangerous, and that is terrifying.
This is a real threat you can encounter.
Exactly. Absolutely. You're on their territory because it's an abandoned building. Screw the whole, it's haunted. Oh, no, screw that. Are there squatters in this bitch? Because I'm going to bring a gun with me. So there I was, just started blasting.
So anyway, I started blasting.
Right.
Got rid of all the ghosts in this town.
I don't know. Yeah, like I said, I definitely would not do that myself.
Oh, you
now,
wouldn't? Because of the
because of squatters. And here's the thing. I feel like that's more of a problem in the U.S. than it is in other countries. And I could be entirely wrong. I'm pretty sure it's just as bad in any other country that supposedly also has hauntings as well, whether it be an insane asylum, a prison, an old building from, way back when. Yeah,
I guess it's whatever country has the most abandoned buildings would have the most
possibly.
hauntings.
Exactly. Like I've never been, but I would love to go to Japan because I know there's a lot of folklore. There's a lot of scary, spooky shit. Mm-hmm. And I would love to do that.
You want to run across that one girl. What's her name? I forget it.
Oh God, no. I know exactly what you're about to say. I can see it now. Right? Huh?
The girl with the scissors?
The scissors?
You haven't heard of What's Her Nuts? Oh man, what is her name? She always wears a mask.
So the one so that's different from what I was thinking you were trying to talk about, and I was going to say no, that one is South Korea, I think. There's an urban legend out in South Korea that's pretty freaky, and I think they did a little cartoon strip. I'm not sure if that's real or not, or if that was just a cartoon strip that they did, where at the very end, as you're reading it, it gets to the very end and it makes that weird clicking sound and it shows the girl all bloody and all that. Yeah, that one is freaky as hell. That made me jump when I saw that for the first time.
That shit was scary, yeah.
Hell yeah.
The girl I was talking about is called the Slit Mouth Woman. Have you heard of her?
Oh, I feel like I have. I feel like I've seen even like videos. Didn't people do creepypastas and other type of videos on YouTube or something like that of her?
Maybe. I only know the legend, and I know God, what is that game called? It's like World of Horror, I think it's called. It's made by like some dentist, and he like heavily uses Japanese like folklore and myths like that, and he put her in the game. I thought it was pretty cool.
Huh.
But yeah, apparently it's this malicious spirit of a woman who she partially covers her face with a mask. She carries around like scissors or a knife sometimes, or maybe like a box cutter. But she has like long black straight hair and a pale face. And she's supposed to be like really pretty, except for her fucked up like scars.
I feel like I know this story. And isn't there something like rules, like if you come across her, she will ask you, "Do I look pretty?" And then she'll remove the little mask and she'll ask again, "Do I look pretty?"
Exactly. She goes up and she asks you if she thinks she's beautiful, and then if you say no, she'll kill you. If you say yes, she takes off her mask and you can see where her face is. It's like cut all the way up, so you can see like her exposed jaw. It's like supposed to kind of look like a smile, but since the muscles are like all like fucked up, you can see all that shit. And she's like, "Do you still think I look pretty?" If you say no, then she kills you. But if you say yes, then she takes her scissors or her knife or her box cutter, whatever she has, and she'll carve your face up to look just like hers.
Yep, I think I've seen a video on this on YouTube.
I think that's pretty cool, urban
That's
legend.
pretty cool. That's fucking creepy.
Yeah, it's pretty creepy.
You want to be carved up too?
Yeah, man. You want to know how I got these scars? I went to Japan one time. Called somebody beautiful.
Worst Joker story ever.
Worst origin story.
There you go. Yeah.
It's a Japanese Joker.
Oh God.
He's just a major simp and wanted to call somebody beautiful.
I feel like Japanese like horror films, TV shows, and all that are way scarier than the American adaptations.
Like
That's just my opinion. Yeah, like Ringu, I think it's called. Ringu.
Ringu.
Yeah, that's pretty freaky. I've seen both versions. I feel like I've seen like two versions of a lot of films.
You know what? Okay, it's no spoilers. I still haven't seen The Grudge, but
are you serious? Like the very first one.
Any.
Oh my God, dude.
As a kid growing up, I was always told that was like one of the scariest ones ever. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna avoid it. And then they tell me the Japanese Grudge comes out, and that shit is like 1,000,000 times worse. Like so fucking horrifying. And I'm like, okay, maybe I'll just avoid it.
We'll probably have to watch it together. Actually, you know what? We'll watch the movie together. But it's crazy though, because they actually made a TV series out in Japan, The Grudge, and I have it.
Oh, you have it?
Yeah, I have it, and it is by far. I would probably have to say the TV show is way scarier than the movies. It's so creepy.
When was it made? Was it recent?
Yeah, it's called Ju-on Origins.
Ah.
And this came out July 2020.
Oh, shit. So it's kind of the same year that one thing happened to you.
What do you mean?
You said something that happened in 2020. You'll hear it in the
podcast. What I was saying earlier about the dogs looking into the room that you're in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2020 was a scary year.
For a lot of reasons.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Oh, this is getting crazy. The more we keep... Okay, I'm freaking myself out.
The more we talk about it, the more you hear things. Are you hearing something right now? It's
Bro,
definitely not me fucking with shit.
I'm taking my headset off and I'm trying to listen. I'm hearing pops and shit.
It's definitely
It's
not
starting
me.
to creep. It's starting to really creep me out. Oh my god! But
Did you hear that? Was that it? Well, I don't hear it now.
I don't hear anything. Like earlier, I'm hearing pops, like even on my desk, and at one point I thought someone like opened the door and then closed it.
I remember there's kids out there popping fireworks earlier, but I don't know if they'll be out there right now. It's 3 a.m.
Yeah,
it's 2 in the morning. I guess.
2 a.m. Yeah, no way. Yeah, we're getting close to the witching hours, guys. So,
Yep.
I'm not sure if anybody believes in stuff like that. I'm not that superstitious, but yeah. Do you believe in the afterlife? Would you mess with people? Would you mess with people if you were once you pass away?
If I were to be if I were able to come back as a ghost, would I come back and fuck with people? I'm not entirely sure. I feel like at some point everybody kind of just like moves on with their life and they just don't care about you and they forget about you.
Sad to say, hear that, but yeah. Really depressing to hear that, but yeah.
I think at that point I would be like, well, it seems like I'm the only one hanging on to this bullshit. So I guess I better pass on or some shit,
Right, but move on.
I guess I would never become a ghost.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's always these stories of reincarnations and all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And there's even been stories on that too. People who've died tragically or, have been murdered and all that, and they got reincarnated.
Yeah, people who say they remember their past death and stuff like that.
Right, and when they come back as the child or whatever, the child recollects everything, you know what I mean? They remember all the details, and it freaks out a lot of people. Apparently, there's been, I won't say incidents, but there's been cases like that. And I've seen videos online, and I'm just like, is that true? Who knows?
What's your stance on it? What do you think?
On what, the afterlife, being like reincarnation and all that?
Yeah, reincarnating, afterlife. Would you come back as a ghost and fuck with people? Would you watch people masturbate? Like, what's going on?
Oh, God. I don't, oh, man. See,
that's tying it back to the beginning. I don't know if we have it recorded, but we were talking about that.
Oh, God, yeah. I messed up on the recording, so that's my bad.
So if I'm randomly talking about masturbating, don't be confused. Listening to this part, future Coco, just know that we were talking about ghost watching you masturbate, okay?
Are you masturbating to ghosts? Oh, okay, got it.
Poltergasm. It's real.
Poltergasms. I don't think that's real, but okay, sure. But no, I don't. See, I would like to believe in the fact that people would get reincarnated. Because I don't know if I would like to stick around just to watch my loved ones or, the people that I care about, whatever, watch them go through whatever they're going through. It'd be kind of depressing. I would just kind of like to just move on. Like, hey, this was my previous life. Okay, now I'm moving on to another life. And some people think that when you do get reincarnated, just like some of these other stories where the people still have those memories from their previous life, but now they're in a new body. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting to think. I really don't know. And there's always been these theories that, of like, why do you think babies cry? When you pass away and when you're reborn, you're being reborn into another body. You have another conscience. And the whole reason why babies are crying is like, that's somebody who's crying because they're about to lose all their memories from their previous life, and before you know it, in an instant, snap of your fingers, boom, you're just a baby. I forgot exactly how it's said. It's probably said a lot better than the way I just said it, but you get the gist of it. You know what I mean?
I guess
that I heard that, and it made me think. And I was just like, wow, that's pretty intense. And all these dreams that people have, like, oh man, they have deja vu moments, or they have these real lifelike dreams. And I've heard people say stuff like, well, it's not just a dream. That's like an alternate version of yourself in another dimension. Like it's like some sort of multiverse type crap. And I'm like, I don't know.
I was one of those babies that had to get slapped on the ass to cry.
Okay.
So if your theory was real, then, or if that thing was real, then maybe I died peacefully in my bed, and I was like, I'm ready to move on. And then
Quite possibly. And then you got hit.
Pussy, and it's like, okay, what's going on? And I got slapped in the ass, and it's like, oh,
and you're like, ow, fucker.
It's like you've experienced pain for the first time in so many years.
I know, right?
Like, as for, I guess my stance on the afterlife is a bit, I don't know if it's even like out there, but I kind of feel like we're this weird like floating spirit kind of thing, just tied to this physical entity, and the only reason we can like experience certain things is because we use this body to experience stuff. Like we have our eyes, we have our ears, we have our nose and all that shit, and because of that we can sense time, we can sense the perception of time. And if we lose all of that, if we go, if you die and you have no longer a perception of time, it just kind of does whatever the fuck it wants, It can go back, it can go forward, it can do whatever. It can put you right back where you started, right?
Yeah.
I think that's more of my, like, random, like, oh, wouldn't it be neat if time was just really tied into our perceptions of it? And if we died, we can go wherever we want. But, I mean, it's probably not that, but it would be interesting.
Yeah, it's true. It would be interesting.
A lot less of a ghost thing, but
Right. I mean, there's all these theories of what the afterlife is like. Are you going to be in limbo? Is it just going to be dark for the rest of your life? Is there really a hell? Is there really a heaven? And the fat list just goes on and on and on. So
what I think is truly horrifying about situations like this is whether or not how you perceive things. So let's put it this way. Let's say you're an able-bodied, conscious-minded, like, you're a fully functioning adult. You go to sleep one day, and one day you wake up, you already forgot your dream because your little alarm went off. You're like, oh shit, I set my alarm for my day that I was off. I don't even do this. So you turn off your alarm, you're laying there, you go to sleep, and you wake up again. You're like, oh, that was a good sleep. And now you can't physically move. And this is a real thing. This is what happens to people. It's called sleep paralysis.
Right.
You not being able to physically move is like so terrifying. And it's a real thing that happens. So not being able to move, you start freaking out like, oh my God, what's going on? I can't move my fingers. I can't move my legs. What's going on? Am I possessed? Is some shit? Probably nowadays people know it's sleep paralysis. But even while knowing you have sleep paralysis, you can still have auditory hallucinations because your brain is still kind of in between, it's in the limbo. So while you know that this isn't real, everything you perceive can feel extremely real, and that's so terrifying.
Wow.
Like, can you imagine laying there not being able to move and you just hear like footsteps slowly coming up the stairs, slowly coming over to your room, opening your door, shit like that? And I guess the worst part of that is if you're so cozy and tired, oh, it's okay, I'm just having sleep paralysis. If you end up falling asleep, not only can you just have your auditory hallucinations, but now you can have visual hallucinations. You can dream that you yourself are stuck in the bed while shit is going on around you.
Yeah, I've seen videos on that too. That is terrifying.
That is terrifying. And the thing is, that's like 100%. That's 100% in your mind, and it could feel as real as you want it to be, I think that shit is terrifying. Like, you could, tonight, it could happen tonight. You could just wake up and you're like, oh shit, I'm having sleep paralysis, the thing the Grin talking about. All of a sudden, you have fucking 30 demons on the side of your bed. You're like, I know it's not real, but holy fuck, it's fucking scaring the shit out of me.
You had me thinking about that. I don't know if I like that. I'm too afraid to go to sleep.
You gotta stay up forever now.
I know, right?
Unless you're already sleeping and you didn't know, but
Oh no. Is this a dream?
Is it? That's just something I think about sometimes.
I've always even heard stories of like if you wake up suddenly in the middle of the night or just for any reason, it's probably because, you know, someone's watching you or something like that. You're being watched. And for a while when I heard that for the first time, and I forgot how long ago I heard that, it wasn't something recent, it kind of made me paranoid, you know, because there would be quite a few times I would wake up in the middle of the night. Oddly enough, even around the supposed witching hour, 3:30 or whatever, you know what I mean? And I'd be looking around the room, just kind of trying to scan and let my eyes adjust to the darkness and see if there's anything crazy or whatever. And I just get this weird feeling like, man, okay, it's just in my head. It's just my head. I'm just going to go back to bed. And I go back to bed. And, you know, it is what it is afterwards. I don't let it really affect me. But for like that instant moment, I kind of panicked slightly. And I'm kind of looking around thinking, okay, who's in here? Who's watching me? But, you know, it's just, again, to me, it's just in my head. I'm like, yeah, whatever.
I think I eat too much junk to believe in that. So when I wake up at like 3 a.m, it's because I got to shit my brains out.
or usually if I wake up also, it's like, oh man, I knew I shouldn't have drank all that water or whatever before I went to bed. I got this full ass bladder I gotta just let go.
Take a wicked piss.
Wicked piss of the West. But that is all I have for now, unless there's anything else you would like to talk about.
Yeah. Are we going to talk about how you invited that ghost into the house?
I didn't invite no ghost whatsoever.
You said, and I quote, I allow any and all demons.
Negative. No. That's a huge fat no. Never. I've had my mom supposedly bless this house twice, if I'm not mistaken.
Twice?
And a friend of our roommate's friend, I should say. Our other roommate, his friend, she gave me
sage?
I can't think of the sage. Thank you. Gave me sage to burn.
Well, are you gonna?
She keeps asking me, "Did you burn it yet? Did you light it?" And I'm like, "No."
Well, yeah, that's why you keep hearing all this shit. You haven't burned that sage yet.
What is this? Phasmophobia now? I mean, we're gonna be.
You gotta banish that shit. So what's that gotta say? What's that gotta say about us, though? You know, this house got blessed twice, and now we need sage too. How fucked is this house?
How do we know the sage is not cursed?
I feel like I gotta check the attic every day, you know.
Oh God.
I feel like one of these days I'm gonna pop up there and there's just gonna be this whole like fucking ritual going on.
Oh my God.
We're like the epicenter of hauntings.
Oh, the haunted?
Is it?
The one I was talking about, or which one are you talking about?
Oh, I'm just saying we're like this epicenter of hauntings.
Oh, epicenter of hauntings. I thought you were talking about like that show, but no, yeah, you know, maybe. Supposedly.
Cause I'm always hearing shit. You're seeing shit.
You didn't talk about the incident that happened that one day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was actually pretty freaky.
So I was all home alone. I was getting ready for work. I work at nighttime, so it was a bit later. I was messing around in the closet because that's where I keep my brush and my deodorant. And I see something to the left of my eyes, and it looked like a. Oh man, what's the girl's name? I don't know if you guys have seen. Maybe you'll bring up a picture, but it's like that little. It's that fake little picture where it looks like somebody's peeking around the corner, and sometimes they cut out the hand too. That's
the girl from The Grudge, I think, but I think they do it with other characters too.
I swear I saw that out the corner of my eye. So I jumped back a little bit and I looked, and of course it's gone now. And I was thinking to myself, oh my God, Coco fucking just got me really good. That's so funny. So I go and I look and there's nothing there. There's absolutely nothing there. I'm like, what the fuck? Did I just imagine that shit? What the fuck? Should I do it to Coco? Should I go tape it in his room real quick? What? This is how a good idea comes up.
But you forgot to mention one key thing on that whole story. is that the location of where he saw this face, once it disappeared, let's say it went behind said wall, that's a drop. There's like no way somebody could have done that. You know what I mean?
Just went straight to the stairs.
Falling straight down to the staircase. Exactly. So
it wasn't like anybody was just peeking around the corner.
That right there also is creepy.
Yeah, shit was fucked. Something's happening. It's definitely upstairs, I feel.
Yeah, because even the dogs, me and you've seen it on a couple of occasions where they would, one or two of them would at the same time would look upstairs like as if they saw something.
Mm-hmm.
And we both look at each other like, what was that? What'd you see?
We know what one of them sees.
Yeah. That's messed up. Not that one. Not the oldest one.
Not the blind one.
Not the blind one.
Let's see.
All right.
I think that's pretty much it. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it. We could talk more about ghosts and for Halloween.
We could do that, and also give us time, because technically I am ready. We can do it anytime, but if we can technically save this for October, and I know we've been talking about this for 10 years now, but
no, it's not happening. It's
gonna happen. It's gonna happen. You know what I'm about to say. It's gonna happen.
I am fully against it.
I don't know how is it that you're gonna take this long to come up with one, but yes,
it's me now.
Ladies and gentlemen, yes, you. I'm good. I'm ready.
I was ready when we wanted to make it,
and I wasn't.
It's the middle of July.
Creepypastas. I have a couple of stories, and Grin can come up with a couple of stories, because we do have some big plans for the future of this podcast. Yes, we do. Don't. So please stay tuned. Hopefully for next month. Could be soon. It could be later. Who knows? But hopefully within the next episode, and there's one that I'm really excited for, but we're still getting everything ready. But aside from that, the only other news that we have at the moment is we potentially will be having special guests on our podcast. We're going to be inviting friends of ours or other people who want to join. So look forward to that. And
should be fun getting a new perspective on this.
True. Very true. Very true. So hopefully this will be a reoccurring theme, whether it be the same person or people or different people for future episodes. So be on the lookout for that. But aside from that, that's going to do it for this episode. So if you're still interested, then be sure to smash that like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on all notifications so you won't miss any of our uploads. You can leave us a comment if there's a topic or anything else you would like us to talk about in other episodes.
Yeah, real quick, if you made it this far, thanks, Thanks for listening. If you yourself have a pretty scary story, make sure to leave a comment. Maybe we'll read it for the Halloween podcast. Other than that, I think it's time to go. It's time to move on.
To sign off.
It's time to go on to the next life.
All right, everybody. Till next time.
Bye forever.
Later.
Bye.